Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi witnessed admission examinations for new cadets at the Military Academy headquarters on Thursday. The president was received by Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Mohammed Zaki. The president reviewed all information and data concerning students and degrees they attained in various exams. The president also held discussions with the cadets about ongoing regional and international issues. Furthermore, the head of state probed the cadets' knowledge and cultural awareness. He hailed the understanding of the state's efforts in all fields to achieve people's aspirations. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said on Thursday he is following up on a weekly basis what is being achieved at the Grand Egyptian Museum during the upcoming period to inaugurate it as soon as possible. This came during an inspection tour made by Madbouli at the Grand Egyptian Museum to follow up on the developments of the project and pace of work at a number of departments. The Prime Minister toured the interactive exhibition of Golden King Tutankhamun, in which the latest digital technology is used. Moreover, Madbouli toured the main exhibition hall of ancient Egypt. He inspected a number of souvenir shops. After visiting the Grand Museum, Prime Minister Madbouli inspected the Old Egypt area to follow up in the pace of work at Fostat Park project. During his tour, Madbouli said that the project aims at transforming the Fostat area into tourist and cultural park for visitors to be a tourist destination reflecting exhibition civilization. And head of the National Election Authority Executive Body Councillor Ahmed El-Binderi stressed providing all needed logistics to hold the presidential elections. El-Binderi said the number of polling stations reached 11,631 nationwide, adding that judges will supervise the electoral process. He noted that authority invited all accredited diplomatic missions inside Egypt to follow up the electoral process, including indicating that 24 embassies already filed their requests and 67 diplomats were officially listed. He added that 14 international organizations will also participate in following up the voting process. And the official campaign of presidential candidate Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a delegation of the people of Nuba at the headquarters in Cairo. Head of the campaign, Councillor Mahmoud Fawzi, explained that people of Nuba were celebrated by the Constitution and the Decent Life Initiative in Aswan, and has made a qualitative leap in the field of services provided by the people. The campaign also received a delegation of media professionals, where the campaign hailed the influential role of media on the Egyptian, regional and international levels. Moreover, presidential candidate Abdel Sanad Yamama, head of the WAFD party, concluded electoral conferences in Mania Shiha, Giza Governorate. Yamama reviewed the electoral program, which took into account the public interest of Egypt. Furthermore, presidential candidate Farid Zahran campaign announced that work in the operations room to follow up the Egyptians voting in the presidential elections resumes its work on Thursday in preparation for the electoral marathon, which begins on the 10th, 11th and 12th of December 2023. And presidential candidate Hazem Omar, head of the Republic People's Party, held his fourth popular conference in Banha City. The conference tackled the most prominent problems facing citizens in Cairo, Southern and Middle Delta, and offering solutions through his electoral program. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry renewed Egypt's complete rejection of attempts to force displacement of Palestinians outside their homeland. During a phone call with the UN chief Antonio Guterres, the top diplomat stressed the significance of reaching humanitarian ceasefire in a way that allows safe distribution of enough aid to the Strip. For his part, Guitara appreciated Egypt's role in dealing with the deteriorating situation inside the Strip. The two sides discussed the current deteriorating humanitarian and security situation in the Gaza Strip. Earlier, the UN chief urged the UN Security Council to use its clout to avert a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. And Ziad Rashwan, the head of Egypt's State Information Services, said Egypt renews its deep regret for breaking the week-long humanitarian truce in the Gaza Strip. Rashwan thanked Egyptian mediation efforts in cooperation with Qatar and the US. According to Rashwan, the truce succeeded in releasing 240 Palestinian women and children, 22 people of different nationalities that were detained inside the Gaza Strip. It also expanded and regulating the entry of humanitarian aid and fuel to the besieged Palestinians inside the Gaza Strip. Rashwan added that Egypt is currently doing its utmost efforts with partners in order to return to the truce as soon as possible and reach an ultimate ceasefire. And on the third edition of Egypt's Defense Expo, top military commanders held bilateral meetings with a number of military commanders and representatives of international defense companies. EDEX showcases the latest machinery, equipment, and technologies in defense, security, and military fields with the participation of 100 leading Egyptian and global corporations. The expo attracts 35,000 military personnel, officials, industry professionals, and visitors from around the world. And Egypt condemned the occupation forces' insistence to build new settlements in the occupied eastern Jerusalem. In a statement, the Foreign Ministry asserted Egypt's rejection for the Israeli occupation settlement policies on all occupied Palestinian territories. The statement also declined the occupation forces' continuous attempts to violate the current legal and historical status of the Palestinian owners of the land seeking to divide its territories. And on another front, North Sinai Governorate resumed on Thursday receiving humanitarian aid in preparation to be entered through Rafah border. And according to Egyptian sources, 37 ambulances, 788 tons of fuel, 4,000 tons of medicines, and 17,000 tons of food have entered through Rafah border. Egyptian sources noted that more than 11,000 of foreigners and dual nationalities have exited through Rafah border, were exited through the Rafah border. The occupation forces, meanwhile, defended its efforts to deliver aid to the Gaza Strip, following sharp criticism of its handling of the humanitarian crisis unfolding inside the besieged territory because of the illegal bombing and aggressive and genocidal crimes committed by the occupation forces inside the Gaza Strip. Also, the occupation forces siege has limited the supplies of food, water, fuel, and medicines entering Gaza, where hundreds of thousands of displaced residents are massing around the southern cities of Rafah and Khan Yunis after fleeing intense combat in the north.